competition is a good thing, right? Absolutely. It can really help you when you're trying to succeed in business, relationships, getting healthier, achieving more spirituality, and of course, improving your finances. But we might be competing against the wrong things. Stay tuned to find out more. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Simple Sober Life. I am Joshua, and I help others make simple changes to create a life of awesome. Welcome, my friends, and I am so excited to have you with us here today. If you haven't yet done so, please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button down below and hit that bell when you subscribe so you get notified each time I create a video. Also, make sure to check me out on the Facebooks and the Instagrams. There's a bunch of information there to help you achieve that life of awesome quicker and easier. Okay, my friends, so it's probably no secret, I have been a competitive person my entire life. Case in point, whenever I would go to the movies or to a restaurant or to a store, if I would see other people getting out of their car at the same time I was and approaching the same location, I would immediately, quickly unbuckle my seatbelt, hop out of the car, lock my car, and kind of power walk to the door so I could get there first, because first is the best. I was in competition with the people I didn't even know so that I could get to the door first. Crazy, right? I don't even know these people. There's no prize for winning. But to be fair, I did always open the door so that I could allow other people in ahead of me. But in my mind, I got there first. So we are in constant competition with people around us for nearly everything. And the true fact of the matter is, it's pointless. This stems from a limited mindset. Our belief that there is only a limited supply of resources and success in the world. And if someone else is achieving success, that means there's less left over for us. And when we actually shift our mindset to an abundant mindset, then we come to believe that there is enough for everyone. And it's absolutely true. There is enough money in the world for everyone to achieve wealth. There is enough love in the world for all of us to have great friends, great relationships with other people, great partners. There is enough spirituality in the world for all of us to achieve a level of peace and spirituality that we have never known. There is an abundance of things in this world, and there is no limitation on the amount that we can achieve for ourselves in order to get that life of awesome that we so desire. So, instead of competing against other people, what should we be focusing our competitive efforts on? There are a number of different things within ourselves that we should be competing against, rather than competing with other people. One of those things is procrastination.
Weren't you gonna start running today?
I'll do it tomorrow. Now, a lot of us fall into this state of procrastination, putting things off until later. But when does later actually come? It's so easy for us to fall into this trap of procrastination. It's so simple because it doesn't require any effort. I was talking with a gentleman at work a couple of days ago, and he said, if I won $100,000, then I'll start a business. Kind of sad, right? I mean, it doesn't really take $100,000 to start a business. I started The Simple Sober Life with absolutely nothing. And I've started other businesses with absolutely nothing. but this mindset of putting things off until. I'm going to start that new business when. I'm going to start saving money when. I'm going to put myself out there and look for a new relationship when. And a lot of times that when never comes. And it's only in taking the action to actually get to the point that we want, whether it be in business or relationships or employment, spirituality, health. Actually getting into action is when we see the results that we're looking for and that equate to that when we were waiting for. So instead of, putting things off until when it's appropriate. My mom, when I was younger, I had told her, I'll have kids when I'm financially stable, when I'm in a good relationship, when, such and such things. And those points might have been valid, but she came back with me and said, you are never ready to have kids. It comes and you just kind of roll with the punches. The same thing can be said about other aspects of our life, whether it be in business or employment, relationships. Are we ever really just ready to jump into a relationship? Probably not. It just kind of happens and, it rolls as it may, and it either works out or it doesn't, And so putting off things until means they will never get done. And so actually creating an action plan and getting into action is the only way to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. Competing against that procrastination will get you so much further than trying to compete with other people.
You are the greatest human being in the entire world. You're so good looking. So nice. There's nothing you can't do. You are the greatest person in the entire ever tried. You don't need anyone.
Another thing that we should be focusing our competitive nature on is our own ego. That inflated sense of self that tells us that we are the greatest person in the world. We have all the answers and we deserve everything in our life to be handed to us with no efforts whatsoever. This sense of ego, I must admit, is one of my downfalls. I do have an inflated sense of ego that tells me that I am the coolest person on earth and that I deserve everything to be handed to me. Unfortunately, it has never played out. That little voice in my head has been wrong every single time. And it's only when I shut down that ego and actually do the work necessary to achieve my goals that they actually come to fruition. So we need to shut down that sense of ego, that terrible voice in our head that doesn't allow us to take advice from people who have traveled the path that we want to go on before. It is that voice that says, I don't need any help. I can do this all on my own, no matter what it is. I can build that business on my own. I can jump into that relationship on my own. I can do everything by myself. Fact of the matter is, we don't do anything by ourselves. The people who are in the highest positions have had help along the way, whether it be from financiers, whether it be from, relationships, whether it be from spirituality, whatever the case may be. We don't do anything by ourselves. And so really quieting that voice and trying to diminish that ego, that sense of self, that sense of pride that really stifles us from doing the things that we want to do is a perfect object of competitive target. Get in there and really punch that ego in the face. Unhealthy habits is another thing that we absolutely need to be in competition with. A lot of the foods that we eat is laced with chemicals, added sugars, added fats. And And, it can lead to not only health problems, but mental problems as well. I was talking to a guy at work, and he has talked to me on several occasions about experiencing severe bouts of depression, as to where it's to the point where he doesn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. He has no motivation, he has no ambition, nothing that will actually spark his interest and, help him get through the day. And there are a lot of times where he'll come in just dog tired. And during his breaks and during lunch, he will actually lay his head down on the lunch table in the break room and, try and nap just to get some energy. And so I was talking to him one day and I asked him, I'm like, what is your diet like? And he said it was terrible. He's eating all these fatty foods. He doesn't take time to make or prep any health foods or anything like that. But there was a point a couple of months ago where he had actually shifted his mindset and was going on a direction of a healthier lifestyle. And I asked him to compare the two points in his life, and it was like night and day. And it was physically noticeable when he would come into work, because he'd be kind of livelier, he'd be very talkative, he'd be getting things done, and it was such a difference. And it was primarily because of the foods that he was choosing to eat. So creating a healthier lifestyle for yourself is something that we should absolutely be in competition with. We need to say no once in a while to that big pile of nachos, that whole pizza, those burgers and fries and things like that. Not that we have to put them away forever, but, kind of minimize how often we actually ingest that into our bodies. Our metabolism is an amazing thing. It's what gives us energy. The foods that we consume, whether when they're laced with hormones and chemicals and things like that, they have a direct effect, not only on our physicality, but on our mental state as well. Something else that we absolutely should be in competition with is our neglected knowledge. And, I had a hard time with this one because I wasn't exactly sure what was meant by this. But then I started looking back on my life and, even in the present day. And one of the things that keeps me from moving forward with a goal or something like that is the belief that I need to be absolutely knowledgeable about that subject before I jump in, which is absolutely not true. I have a master's in finance, so I have a strong basis in how the stock market works and things like that. But I am not a stockbroker. And so I was nervous in getting into the stock market because of my limited knowledge, my neglected knowledge. However, once I was able to, realize that there is a wealth of information out there, especially now, we have free reign over the internet, and we can literally learn anything we want within a matter of a couple of hours or a couple of days. And so I started taking a course just to kind of refresh my memory, get more strategic practices when it comes to investing and trading on the market. And I have been able to flourish because of that. But what was holding me back initially was irrelevant, because I allowed that neglected knowledge to pursue me forward. Something else we should be in absolute competition with rather than competing with other people, it comes from within, and that is our negative behaviors. And this stems from, allowing self-doubt to interlude based on past experiences. It comes from making excuses and wallowing in self-pity. Now, there are a number of different negative behaviors that I have found in myself that I am trying to overcome. The ones aforementioned are definitely ones. You know, I still struggle with self-doubt. I still struggle with, wallowing in pity. You know, it's really easy to get into that mindset and that motivation, and it's comfortable. And so when I want to achieve a goal, I absolutely have to compete against those negative behaviors in order to get to the desired place where I want to be. Whether it be in business, whether it be in finance, whether it be in relationships, spirituality, or health. You know, those 5 pillars of happiness that the Simple Sober Life is all about, creating a well-rounded practice of. And, I have to give myself pep talks and things like that. The other day, I woke up, cliché-ly, on the wrong side of the bed. I was miserable when I woke up, and I wallowed in it for half a day. I just couldn't get myself out of this slump. I tried listening to podcasts. I tried listening to motivational speaking. I went into work and I wanted to isolate from everyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to have any conversations. I just wanted to wallow in that negative mindset and, that the world was against me and, everyone was against me and screw it all. It wasn't until after lunch and that I actually started that I was able to, mentally get myself out of that way of thinking and regain, society and regain the world. And these positions, these mindsets are natural. It comes with the ebb and flow of life. But the quicker that we're able to get out of this negative behavior, the quicker that we're able to get back on the path to creating and achieving the goals that we want. Last but not least is our lack of creativity. Now, I had to do a little bit of research about this one. I thought as a creative person, it meant art or music or things like that. But not necessarily. It actually means to make a difference, we have to be different. It doesn't necessarily mean that we need to create a brand new idea. We have to reinvent the wheel. That's not what it means. It actually means that we can take an idea that has been around for, hundreds of years and just do it a little bit differently. Customizing it to how to personalize it in order to get the goals that we want. So if you are wanting to start a business and you absolutely need financing, rather than, going a traditional route, maybe you can't get a loan from a bank, maybe you don't have, people that you can borrow money from, coming up with a creative way to get that financed. It could mean selling some of your possessions. It could mean, doing a GoFundMe. It could mean, a bunch of different things, creating a course that will help people, fix your car, whatever the case may be, to actually generate the cash flow in order to start your business or to grow your business. It could mean in relationships, finding a new way to meet people, especially right now. A lot of people are still very much scared of, the COVID-19 and the pandemic that's going on, that they don't want to get out and meet people. So finding new avenues in order to, get that human interaction that we all need and forge those relationships that we need to create an element of happiness within our lives. So not necessarily reinventing the wheel, just maybe chiseling it out a little differently can help you spark that creativity to achieve the goals that you want quicker and easier. My friends, I hope you got value out of this. I know I sure did. If you did, please make sure to give this video a big old thumbs up and comment down below. What do you think you should be in competition with other than people? I would love to hear your thoughts. Also make sure to subscribe, hit that bell when you subscribe. And until next time, my friends,